Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Pacific Division. We'll start with the Golden State Warriors, 46-36 last year. What was your favorite move that the Golden State Warriors made?
Getting Buddy Hield and Melton are like solid players. At least they can keep some shooting out there. Both, I mean, but especially Buddy Hield, he disappeared for the Sixers for long stretches, and Melton has a pretty up and down injury history. I think he had was it a neck or a back? Like he missed a lot of time last year, so who knows with that. But at least it lets them play Warriors ball a little bit to the same degree that they've been used to playing, but they might have to get it from a couple players.
Yeah, agreed. I had Hield down too. They didn't make like a lot of big swings, but I think, I think it'll be good in the system. It seems to be a shooting friendly system. So I agree with the Hield trade. I mean, pickup, sign and trade. Yeah, 76ers. Okay. Least favorite move.
I just put down they didn't make a big splash. Like it's just, and I know you're restricted with the second apron. There were some things out there with Andrew Wiggins, maybe you could do, but it just, they seem stuck in that cycle of we're just gonna dangerously walk that line, and Steph signed his extension anyhow, so he's probably just gonna ride it out as a Warrior. But looking at the West and what they did, I don't know how you have confidence of like, oh yeah, we're better than last year. Maybe they can still be good, but it's just you just added more question marks to me.
I agree. I did put, and this is more of like just a personal thing, I guess, but losing Klay Thompson. I just love it when like a franchise players stay with the franchise until they retire. So like Giannis, I want to see him retire a buck, like Chauncey Billups, that was one guy that didn't retire a Piston that I wanted to retire a Piston. I just like when franchise guys stay with the team and retire. Losing Klay Thompson is just a bummer because you kind of wanted to see him retire in Golden State. So just by that thought is that was my least favorite move because I'd rather have them stayed together than break up. So
Yeah, it's a good point too because it's not like you lost him and then pulled this trade out where you're like, well, they lost Klay Thompson, but now look what they got. They're so much better. It's like, oh, we lost Klay Thompson for Buddy Hield. Like,
yeah,
okay, but you're right. To see these teams, especially now in this era, to just as painful it is. Like I know Steph Curry wants to win, and probably not going to happen with the three of those aging.
correct.
Like just to ride it out and maybe have a exciting playoff series and kind of ride off into the sun. But that's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, biggest questions for them.
I just put, are they aging out? Like Curry's still really good, but he's not the Steph Curry we knew from even when they won the finals, 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Um, Age, and can they still put enough dependable shooting? Like Klay Thompson, even though he didn't shoot that good last year, like you weren't just not covering Klay Thompson
Correct.
because he
Correct.
still had his. And Buddy Hield, he's a good shooter. He's a slower shooter. Like Klay Thompson is just catch and gone. Same with Melton, good shooter, but it's a slower shot, which sometimes I think we forget when we talk about shooting. You're like, there's shooting, and then there's like, quick, that guy cut, it's gone.
Right.
Shooting. So, and if you don't have that, then the Draymond Steph pick and roll is a little less explosive because you can kind of suck in a little bit. So it's just aging out, and you lose the dependability of what you had the last several years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good question. And my thing is like, well, one of these young guys finally step up. I mean, like the funny thing about the Warriors is they have a lot of throughout the last couple of years. Oh, this guy could be good. James Wiseman. Oh, look out, Moody Kuminga, Podzinski now. I think like they're finding some like good players, but none of them like popped. Can one of them pop? What, like obviously they should have probably traded a couple of them. It's the Patrick Williams problem that we talked about in the last podcast, where you're like you're kind of holding on to the fact of what he could be rather than thinking about like, well, if he becomes this player that we could trade for, that would actually be awesome. So why don't we just trade for that player instead of hoping that this guy becomes him? I think that could have like saved, made Steph Curry's life a lot easier last couple of years. So it's the same with this, is like either one of these young guys step up, or would this be the year they finally like trade a couple of these young guys to get a guy to make one more, or try to make one more final push for a championship for Steph Curry? That's kind of my big question for them.
For sure. And I think it's just hard with the system that they run.
Yeah.
Like none of these guys are like Kuminga, I think is good, but there's not a lot of ball handling for him, not a lot of time for him to ISO or kind of fit into some of his skills. And I think it's a hard system to come from college and be the guy, or be one of the guys, and then come to Golden State and be like, we literally only want you to, like James Wiseman. I mean, maybe he was unsalvageable from the beginning, but he had his strengths, but none of them were what the Warriors wanted him
Correct.
to do.
Correct.
And it just makes it difficult. And I think with Kuminga, you could see his frustration that he's taken to the media a few times, like, let the reins off a little bit and let me try some stuff.
Yeah, agreed. Any other points? Questions?
I don't think so. You were right. Are they going to make a big trade, or are they just going to play it as it is?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I'll also say they are small. Like, and right now they have listed Draymond Green as their center. He's 6'7", right? Kuminga's 6'7". That's their two starting bigs. And even Jackson Davis is listed at 6'8". So they are a small team. So that is just another point I wanted to make. Prediction for the Warriors.
Play in.
Yeah, that's what I have for them. Okay. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.